Most paragliding instructors are creating dangerous, frustrated pilots. And it's not because they're bad people, it's because they're teaching from an incomplete framework that skips more than 75% of what you would need to be a safe, competent pilot. Today, I'm going to expose the massive gaps in paragliding instruction, break down the 4 dimensions every pilot needs to develop themselves in, show you how to identify what level of paragliding instructor you're dealing with, and give you a roadmap for your own complete development as a pilot. Are you ready? Here we go.
See ya.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Stoked you're here. If you're new, my name's Ari. I teach high-level paragliding with emotional intelligence and relationship skills because technical skills alone create incomplete pilots. I'm also the founder of the Paragliding Men's Group. I do a lot of men's work professionally. This fall, I'm running the Integrated Pilot course. It's going to teach you how to develop along these 4 dimensions of flying and give you the complete toolkit for a long, safe, deeply fulfilling paragliding career. More about that here in this video. The link's in the description below. To begin, paragliding instruction is an incredibly hard thing. It is not very lucrative. It is very triggering. It's incredibly nuanced. People come to paragliding instructors very vulnerable. They have to trust them a lot. And there are so many social skills. You're dealing with different kinds of people, different kinds of conditions. There's a lot to it. And because of that, paragliding instruction really is the art of being trustworthy. It's the art of mentorship. It's the art of being responsible and adaptable and transcending yourself so that you can really show up in a way that supports people across a wide range of competencies, of neurology, of who they are. And it's also something so dangerous. People can get hurt, killed, maimed in paragliding. And so when someone trusts an instructor, it's a really deep trust. This is why I want to talk about this. This isn't about bashing paraglide instructors. This is about trying to upgrade the system that we're dealing with. And I'm going to use some philosophical frameworks from Ken Wilber today. The basic problem is that pilots need to develop themselves across 4 dimensions of flying. This is skills, mindset, community, and systems. And instruction today focuses 99% on just skills, kiting, launching, landing. And the reality of paragliding is that skills won't keep you safe. You have to have judgment. You have to have judgment about your skills. You have to have judgment about conditions. You have to have emotional intelligence. And there's so many things that go into keeping a pilot safe and competent more than just skills. So let me break down these 4 dimensions of flying here. So this is a simple matrix. On the top, you have individual. On the bottom, you have collective. Left is interior and exterior. Okay, so skills here, we all know about this. This is kiting, launching, landing. This is your emergency skills, how to open a cravat, how to stall the glider. This is glider handling. These are all things that you do physically with your body and the glider. Over here, we have the mindset, which is your emotional intelligence or your EQ. This is your situational awareness. This is your self-knowledge, your self-esteem, your nervous system regulation. This is your fear management. This is your decision making, your motivations, your reward structures, right? Why are you doing this? What do you get from it? This is also your meaning making. So much here. This is also your risk assessment. So much of paragliding is right here. Being able to feel what you feel, to deal with it, to manage it, to make accurate risk assessments under pressure, to deal with stress, to make good decisions. Man, so much of paragliding is in here. This is a huge area that we're missing. Okay. In community, we have ethics, etiquette, safety culture, and values. We also have mentorship. This is really where, instructorship lives. This is also where friendship lives. This is our relationships. This is how we talk to each other. This is the language we use. This is what it's like to be inside of the community. This is whether we're a bunch of assholes or we're a really warm, welcoming community, okay? This is also where wisdom lives. Lots of people have died paragliding and have learned a lot of things and can teach it to you. This is where our wisdom lives. This is also where our service lives. I want to put this here in friendship. help each other? Or are we so afraid of our legal liability that we can't instruct each other? We can't give each other tips. Over here in systems, what's the most obvious system that we deal with in paragliding? Weather. Nature, man. This is the real world. This is wrestling with reality. Okay. We also deal with access and airspace and regulations. We also deal with the paragliding manufacturers. An instructor would help you understand how to fit into your governing body. This is how to understand the weather. Okay. As you can see here, there's so much to paragliding, and we're really only focusing in instruction on these skills: glider handling, kiting, launching, landing. And so often, the failure modes of paragliding come from underdevelopment in the instructor themselves. So if a paragliding instructor is low in their development in their emotional intelligence, then they'll yell. They have underdeveloped financial sophistication, and so things become murky transactionally. If your instructor has not really developed himself in the community space, then he's not a good communicator. And I use he because it's general, but trust me, the female instructors are not out of these problems by any means. And I've seen this firsthand. I've seen instructors yell at students. I've seen sexual misconduct. I've seen student land a glider and put it down into water and the instructor explode, and she quit paragliding immediately. So there's lots of problems. And surely you've seen an instructor yell at a student. Like, this is something so common. Now, look, I'm not saying that all instructors should be teaching emotional intelligence in beginner paragliding courses. What I am saying is that instructors should be demonstrating these skills and working to integrate them into themselves and their own lives so that the typical downfalls of paragliding instruction can be ameliorated. If an instructor has developed themselves across these 4 dimensions, they're going to create way better outcomes in their students. Not because they're lecturing people about feelings, but because they're not yelling. They're not financially desperate. They can clearly communicate, and they also have the ability to observe, and they can read those people and the conditions accurately. And this isn't to single out or shame paragliding instructors, but if we want to upgrade our sport, then we are going to have to hold our instructors to a higher standard. So I want to help you understand the 3 levels of paragliding instructor. And also I want to say that as a paragliding instructor myself, I've seen myself do all kinds of, let's call it fuckery or bullshit that I'm not super proud of. And in the last 12 years of paragliding, I'm really tried to use paragliding as a tool for my own transformation and a pacer of my own development. And that's essentially what I'm recommending here for all students and instructors. Develop yourself along these 4 dimensions and show up. Okay, so let's start with the egocentric instructor. Basically, this is anything where you're making your job about yourself. He's trying to be perceived as masterful, authoritative, or important. He might teach skills that are irrelevant for the student that he's dealing with. Basically only has one way of talking to people or teaching. He'll probably gossip or talk shit about other instructors or other ways of learning. Probably financially insecure, and so things are murky there with the transactions and the clarity and desperation. Basically, with this guy, you can learn to fly, but it'll develop all kinds of bad habits, and it'll be hard to use paragliding as a tool for your own transformation here. Second level of instructor, let's call him ethnocentric. This guy's the fundamentalist. Everything is rule-based. My way is the only way. He forces everyone into the same mold. He really teaches the same thing to every single person, regardless of who they are or where they are. There's kind of like this tribal loyalty here, and he's suspicious of other ways of teaching and basically his way or the highway. He's rigid, and he is resistant to innovation, and his ego's threatened by outside thoughts, outside techniques, discussions. Like if someone has multiple instructors, it makes him uncomfortable. He's really like, it's kind of a lot of control. Both of these first 2 levels of instructors are likely to have low emotional intelligence and lack of fundamental security in themselves, comfort in their own skin. The 3rd level is an integrated instructor. This guy is very nuanced and he can match his teaching to anyone's needs. He listens really carefully to what people are trying to get out of paragliding, where they're coming from, what kind of person they are, what their nervous system is like. If someone comes to him as a 22-year-old athlete and is very competitive and wants to push hard in paragliding, he can give them structure that will help keep that person safe. And if someone is coming in as a 50-year-old woman and it's, she's doing the first action sport of her life, then this integrated instructor can really tailor the teaching to fit people. This integrated instructor also can teach any valid technique. He's not stuck to his way or the highway. He really can draw from various approaches. He also builds a really supportive environment and is very inclusive. And this instructor helps make a very smooth transition from his instruction into broader mentorship in the community. This person is very tied to the community and contributes to the connections there so that when you get out of his school, you have a smooth transition into being mentored so that you don't just get dropped. Oh, you're P2 now, signed off, see ya. And this person also thinks holistically about your complete development as a person, what's important. Paragliding is so dangerous. People can have various motivations. This person can help you see your life from a broader perspective. This person is a mentor himself or herself. And there's a profound emotional intelligence here, high level communication, lots of onerous personal responsibility, clearly holds boundaries, just a high level person in general. This person has great relationships and contributes and can resolve conflicts with people. These are all just high level skills of a person, of a man, and definitely of a paragliding instructor. So what we're talking about here is the art of being trustworthy, the art of mentorship, the art of being an instructor, of being a good person, of developing yourself. And using this framework, you can think about a deliberately developmental progression that in paragliding, you're going to have to develop your skills for sure, but also your mindset, your emotional intelligence, your capacity to make sense of things, your cognitive intelligence, also your ability to contribute to a community and also to ask for help, to receive support, to receive mentorship. Some people are obstinate. They don't take feedback well. This is going to stunt your growth as a paraglide pilot enormously. So you should be very careful about who you pick as a paragliding instructor. And you should be, if you are an instructor, you should be very diligent about developing yourself along these 4 dimensions, not just so that people have better outcomes from your paragliding instruction, but so your life is better. Flying can be transformational, not just recreational. And you recognize this when someone crashes into the ground in front of you and maims themselves and changes their life from an injury or death. And you realize, okay, like this really is a powerful thing and I'm messing with my life here. This is why I've started the integrated pilot course. It's going to start this fall. We're going to cover the highest leverage emergency protocols from all of these videos that I've analyzed and my 12 years paragliding. We're going to cover really high level mindset so that you can make really good decisions and manage your emotions in the air. We're going to talk about how you can build really good friendships in paragliding and contribute to a community. And also, I'm going to teach you how to forecast the weather like an absolute pro. The link's in the description below. Would love to see you there. Thanks so much for watching today. Wishing you the best luck in your flying and your life. Okay. See you on the next episode.